prepare reports when it comes to reporting about sustainability or any events that we do. And this is in line with, all the other sessions, either the ones which were conducted earlier in the morning or a few which are coming soon after this session. Okay, I hope I will be able to share with you some of the things which I think can help all of us write a good report or news which will be of interest to readers. Yeah. Okay. Let me share with you just a few news. First of all, if you can see this slide, you can see that there are 3 different news shared on the same page. And of course, if you look at the one which garnered the most interest, I would assume is the Kobe Bryant news, which is Kobe Bryant and daughter among 9 killed in crash. Okay, and then you have his picture. Okay, and then the second news, which is slightly smaller. This is on public health. Rush is on to develop vaccine for coronavirus. Okay, and then the one on top with a smaller font, poll shows Biden leads a volatile race in Iowa. Okay, if we looked at these 3 news, I believe that the one which will catch your attention will be this one. Okay, the reason is because, of course, first of all, it occupies, the most space in that page, and also because of the headline, which is very catchy. You would want to find out how Kobe Bryant actually, killed in the crash. Okay, and then after the headline, you see 5-time champion, one of the NBA's biggest stars was 41. Okay, so you will be left with questions, yeah? And because you want the question answered, that is when you will start reading the whole thing. Okay, and I found out while preparing this slide that some readers, they just couldn't believe how this news, which is more important, relevant to the current situation. Okay, by the way, this is taken from 2020. This is on public health. Rush is on to develop vaccine for coronavirus, because most people did not actually notice this news, yeah, about how, those scientists were actually rushing to come up with the vaccine because of this news, yeah, taken over by this news, which is of course more sensational, and it garners, popular readers. Okay, next one. Get to bottom of lake pollution, TBKL told. Okay, this is closer to home. This is in Selangor. And then you have below this, Kepong Metropolitan Park visitors claim incident occurs several times a year. Okay, and when you looked at this, you will see that there is this picture. Okay, does this picture, invoke any feeling inside of you? I think you would want, you must have felt something when you looked at the picture, and then you will then relate that picture with the headline, get to the bottom of lake pollution, DBKL told. Okay, the way that this headline is written, you know that, DBKL is actually given an ultimatum, yeah, to really seriously solve this problem or find out about what causes the lake pollution. Yeah, okay. The third one, okay, river turns orange in pollution mystery. Will that catch your attention? I think it will, because first of all, you can see, I mean, first, if not for the headline with the word river, maybe you would not be able to guess that this is about a river, yeah, which has become polluted. Okay, and then you see how image actually plays a very important role to get your attention and also to engage you to read more. Yeah. Okay, so now you will, from the picture, then you will turn to the headline, River Turns Orange in Pollution Mystery. Okay, I think the headline is very appropriate in the sense that the word mystery is used. Of course, you will start asking question, mystery? What mystery? How can pollution becomes a mystery? So that will actually create interest in you to continue reading. So what I have showed you actually are three different news clips, yeah, or news reports, which have managed to include pictures and also headlines that will engage you, that will make you want to read more. It's not like I can, I don't have to read this, I can read tomorrow, or maybe I ask other people about that. Because of the way that it is worded, as well as the use of picture in order to get your attention, then the story will have readers continue reading the news. Okay, so that is what I hope by the end of the session you will be able to do, to be able to identify the pictures, graphics, or any diagram or any graphic images that will be appropriate, that will be very impactful to your article in order to get audience interest. Okay, another one. Okay, this column is called At Your Service, yeah, which is a directory to general services, and this is taken from South China Morning Post, and the title, the heading is Sustainability is a Critical Issue. Okay, maybe if we looked at the heading, yeah, it is a normal heading, sustainability, of course, it is of concern, but the word critical, and then it is put using open and close inverted comma, meaning that is something about the word critical which the writer would like to highlight in the article. That is also one of the ways that we as writer can do in order to get audience interest from just the headline. And then you can see that with this headline, there will be a picture, yeah. And when this article actually quotes a consultant, yeah, on why, or on his opinion about why sustainability is a critical issue, then having the picture of the consultant is also a good way to lend credibility to the article. Okay, so you have here John Herbert says Hong Kong has a larger construction area of independently certified green. So, okay, my point is that when we would like to write a report, a news report that will have audience interested to read, we should actually have a good headline. We should have an impactful image, as well as try to also add in, someone who has authority, whether to support your article, yeah, to lend credibility to your article. Okay, how to do that? All right, so let's just, go through some basic information about writing news report. I'm sure, I think most of you are aware about this. I'm just, would like to refresh your memory. And for those of you who have not been writing, then probably this is, a good time to start looking or refreshing your memory about writing news report. Okay, so when we write report, we are actually conveying what has happened or what is happening at the moment, okay? And we are the one who actually know what is going on. So you want to convey that to a reader who might not have any background information whatsoever. Therefore, your news report should be written clearly, all right? And the writing style also should be clear, concise, and active, yeah? Okay, so what do we write? we will write answers to the WH question. WH questions are the what, when, why, where, and how. Okay, that's the WH question, yeah? Okay, now that we know we need to answer those 5 questions, the WH question, it will be a good idea, as I mentioned just now, to use quotation in order to make our report credible as well as interesting. So it's not like who said that, you know. So we want to add in credibility, okay? And usually when we write report, it is written using third person pronoun. For example, he said, they said, or the company suggested. Yeah, it's not like I said. Yeah, it is not first person but third person. Okay, and then it is always a good idea to provide imagery information. This is the pictures. Yeah. Okay. All right. When we write for the newspaper, especially, yeah, either printed or online, our sentences that we use should be short and punchy. If you notice, when we read newspaper, you will have one sentence is one paragraph. And then after that, you will have a space, and then you will have the next sentence, which is the next paragraph. And of course, you also have, you know, 2 sentences, but it will not have more than 2 or 3 sentences in a paragraph. Yeah. Okay, and then when you write reports, then it is a good opportunity for you to practice, you know, changing vocabulary, having, you know, this is when the synonym of words will become handy. So, you know, you have one word in the first paragraph, maybe in the middle of the report, you will use other words or synonyms of the word in order to have a very impactful writing, yeah? So you use grammar and also punctuation marks in order to enhance the effects as well as to clarify meaning. Okay, please pay attention to punctuation marks because it has meaning when you write. For example, the use of a full stop, the use of comma, the use of colon, semicolon, because, you know, when people read, they will actually looked for the punctuation marks in order to make sense of the meaning. Because some sentences, when you change the punctuation marks, then it will change the meaning. Yeah. Okay, and this is what I mentioned just now, the WH question. By the way, when we write reports, news reports are written in past tense because we are reporting what have already occurred, yeah, events that have occurred. And then these are the details of the, you know, WH, what, the specific event that took place, who are involved, where, the place, when, the date and time, why, the reasons for the event taking place, and how that is where you actually connect the facts. Okay. Saying this, you know, maybe this is easy, but when it comes to writing, then it might need practice. Well, it is easy to write if we are familiar with all this, yeah? Okay, again, after we have looked at the mechanics of the writing, then again, this is a few examples, yeah? You can see this is the headline and this is the picture. And when you looked at the headline and you looked at the picture, you might want to continue reading because you want to know, you know, over 73,000 pilgrims stranded. Yeah. Okay, here rupee follows global slide, hits all-time low against dollars. So those of you who are interested, you know, with the currency and also investment, then this kind of news will actually attract your attention. Okay, so here 2 thieves jump off a building 7th floor, die. That is, I think the you know, the simplest way of getting attention. So okay, 2 thieves jump off the 7th floor of the building and then finally die. Okay. So this is how we start writing, yeah? When we write for newspaper, then usually we will follow the inverted pyramid graph organizer. Okay, so we use this because we want to start with the most important information first. Yeah, so we start with the most important information. This is called lead. So usually here, yeah, the first part, lead, this is where you will write who, what, where, and when. And this is done in 1 to 2 sentences. Yeah, not one paragraph. I mean, not one paragraph of our conventional essay writing. Yeah, because when we write essay, usually our one paragraph is like half a page. Yeah, no, this is 1 to 2 sentences, which makes up one paragraph, right? Okay, the second one is other important facts. This is where you will try to answer the why and the how. Okay, so here provide more details about the important facts. Okay, the third one, provide background information for the story. And if you have quotes, this is where you will include the quotes, meaning, you know, whoever said, you know, this is where you would want to bring in the authority that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, the quotes which will strengthen the background information. Okay, next one, this is where you go to less important information. Okay, what it means by less important information, meaning if you do not have these two, the story would be able to stand, meaning people will still be able to understand what's going on. Yeah. Okay, so less newsworthy information, and this is the list. The list, this information is nice to know, but will not matter if audience does not read it. Okay, why is it important for us to follow this? Yeah, to follow this pyramid graph. It is very important because sometimes when we send our article to a newspaper, the editor, of course, will do editing. So they will scrap out, you know, some information. So if we put in important information down here, so there is a possibility that the important information is scrapped out, is deleted. Yeah. So what is left? The not so important information. So that is also one of the reasons why some of our articles, if we send to the newspapers, do not get published. Yeah, because of the wrong position in in the news. Okay, and editors are busy people. They do not have time to actually trying to figure out, oh, where is the important information? Oh, this one should come first. No, if it is not an important event, then they will just know this is not worth publishing. Okay, so you wouldn't want that to happen to your report or your news that you want to share with others. Okay, this is the same thing. Okay, so we will have the headline, yeah, and then it is good to have a picture here, and then lead, important information, paragraph. This is where you have the quote. This is the less important information. This is the least important information. So bear in mind that if you have it this way, and if, for example, every time an editor would want to save their news space, then if they take out number 4 and number 5, your story will still be credible. That means it can still stand on its own. Okay. All right. Next. Okay. From the examples that I introduced at the beginning, headline is very important. Okay. So how do we write headlines? The headline should be short, and it should grab the attention of readers so that they want to read more. That's the purpose of having a very catchy headline. Yeah. And news headlines are written in the present tense in order to provide an element of freshness, because people do not want to read things which have happened in the past. But of course, this is the general rules. Later on, I have a slide where you can actually have different tense that you can use for headlines. Yeah, but for general information, news headlines are written in the present tense. Okay, this is an example of online news. Okay, so you have here, Clinton urges support for Egypt's reform process. So this is present tense. And then Packers favored over Steelers better record. This is actually the Super Bowl in the US. And constituents now welcome with extra security. Okay. Okay, this one, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. How do companies stack? Let me see. How do companies stack up? Okay, so when you have a report like this, you really need to provide readers with a very useful headlines, as well as the legend use, because you need your report to be reader friendly. Yeah, that means you do not have to be someone who has the technical information, but by looking at the graph you would be able to understand what the graph is trying to show you. Yeah, so here you have the different colors, yeah, to indicate what it means here, right? Okay, these are headline verb tenses. So here, simple present tense. When do you use that? For action recently completed. Okay, and then this is present progressive tense. Action is ongoing. The weather hampering a commute, for example, Congress voting on bill. So you are actually reporting what is happening at the time of reporting. Yeah. And then you can also use simple past tense, but this is when something which is recently revealed. For example, the government announced there will be no total lockdown, something like that. Yeah. Okay. And then you have some examples here. And you also use present infinitive when the future, you are referring to future action, which is certain. Yeah. Obama to sign bill Tuesday. So in our case, for example, the enhanced PKP 3.0 will start tomorrow. Yeah. So it is certain because the date is fixed. Okay. And then also, now that we share more on online platform, so we also need to strategize so that our news will be able to be picked up by searches, online searches, as well as scanners. So headline editing for searches and scanners. The first rule is be brief. Yeah. And here Google and MSN display the first 8 to 10 words of your headline. So if you have, your headline have more than 10 words, then the remaining words will not be picked up. Yeah. On the other hand, Yahoo displays up to 16. So if you want to be picked up by Google or MSN, then yours should be fewer than 10. Okay. And then make the first 3 words as the most important. Yeah, even if you have to write in passive voice. Okay. And then headline is very important because it is a label for the page. Yeah. So and then headline must be able to stand on their own without context of either page design elements. So meaning if you don't have any other design or pictures, then the headline should be able to give meaning, yeah, to what you are going to read. And of course, even when editing for an online engine, a human still makes the click, meaning to say that whatever that you do, the choice of word, it must be something which people would be able to relate. Yeah. Okay, I think my time has passed.
Another 4 minutes, Prof.
Oh, okay, another 4 minutes. All right, thank you. Okay, and then blurbs. Okay, usually blurbs is used in longer writing. Yeah, for example, if you write a book or a long report, then you will have a blurbs where sometimes blurbs is used to summarize. Yeah, blurbs always promote the story, but they are not leads. Leads, remember, leads is the introduction. So blurbs is not an introduction, but it is more of summarizing, yeah, the report. So you can look at blurbs as something which mimics a magazine table of content. Yeah. For example, 62 parents battle high cost of college. So if this is the title, so this is the blurb. This year's freshman class will take out more college loans than any group of college students in history. So you can then guess that in the article that you're going to read, it will talk about how the high costs of going to college will result in parents taking in more loan, yeah, to support their children. Okay, so lead introduction to any news story. It can be a single word, a phrase, a clause, a brief sentence, an entire paragraph, or a series of paragraphs. Well, when I say an entire paragraph, meaning it's the one sentence or it's the two sentences that make up that paragraph. Yeah. And then, of course, there are many different types of leads. If you Google, or if you later do more research on this. But I just want to show you one example. This is called summary or straight leads. Yeah, this is where you bring the central issue of discussion first. So after the headline, you will write the leads. It tells readers what they want to know in a creative manner. And if the reader read the lead, he or she would have a solid grasp of the story. Yeah. So for example, this is an example of a lead. 12 persons were killed and at least 50 injured and hospitalized when the bus and car smashed into each other. Yeah. So the bus got fire and collided with the car, which resulted in this accident. So this mishap took place near Delhi in the morning. Okay, so this is the lead introducing or giving more information about the
1
headline.
minute. 1 more minute.
Okay. I'm going towards conclusion. Okay, so this, if you want to put your news into perspective, let's say this is the newspaper. So this is the main story headline, yeah, and then name of writer, which is known as byline. See, so this is the lead. Newspapers usually lead with a dramatic and attention-grabbing headline. So, and then this is the most important. Your story will be about 150. And then this is where you have the quotation, yeah, from people in authority. And this is the photo which should grab attention. Again, this is another example. Title or headline. This is intro, and this is the body. Yeah. And conclusion, to get audience attention in 15 seconds, the news story should have a catchy headline, a functional introduction or the lead, yeah, impactful image with appropriate caption, and a clear content which answers the 5 WH question, and the content is presented following the inverted pyramid. Yeah. So these are my references. Thank you very much and good luck with all your news report after this.
Thank you very much, Prof. Adina. And then this is very good tips, writing a good reports. That's very important things is image. Headline must be very headline, yeah. Headline importance, and then 5 W's and 1 H. There's a lot of more tips. Thank you very much, Prof, for the sharing. Thank you very much. Now we're going to next speaker, which is that's from Dr. Prof. Dr. Hadina is communication and networking. And the next part is marketing and visibility. Okay, this is part marketing visibility. Speaker by Encik Muhammad Syahrul Hafiz bin Razak from Office Strategy and Corporate Affairs. The title is How to Get Your Program Visible. This is something like a digital marketing, visibility, and there might be some sharing about the very interactive poster, something like that. So if Mr. Muhammad Syahrul Hafiz Razak ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. We may start in 25 minutes. We don't have any reflection session because we are need to catch up time. So over to you, Mr. Muhammad Syahrul Hafiz.
Um, okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam.
In my set, did you see my slide? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Muhammad Syahrul Hafiz bin Razak from Office of Strategy and Corporate Affairs. And I'm going to talk about how to get your program visible. So basically, it's not limited to your program. It's also can be used for your own self, for individual, or for your brand, or for your company. It's about the same approach. Okay. So basically, this topic is part of the digital marketing topics that includes your branding, website, search engine optimization or SEO, your advertisement, social media, content marketing, and services. Okay. All right. So basically, if you have the money for your marketing or for your promotion, paid advertising is the best option to get yourself or your content or your program to be visible. Because as you can see here, we can see lots of channel or platform. So like Facebook, Google search engine, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. So this is currently the not trending, but the top sites that are actively being used daily, that have millions of active users per day. Okay, um, but if you doesn't have the budget, you have limited budget. Okay, this is where I can share some of the tips to get yourself or your program to be visible. Okay, so number one, okay, you need to identify the platform and your audience. Okay, so from here we have multiple platform. Okay, but you probably do not have the manpower or the resources to get on all platforms. Okay, so on my previous slide we have lots of platform. Okay, but we are not going to spend our resources to all the platform. Okay, we have to have target which platform that have the best impact on our branding effort or marketing effort. Okay, so currently the number one best platform to invest your resources or your money is Facebook. Okay, so the data that I have here is currently based on US data. Okay, and each analytics or data is very dependent on the culture or the country of the citizens or our target user. Okay, so for Facebook, the monthly active users is around 2.44 billion. Okay, monthly users, and the average age is 25 to 29. Okay. I doesn't have the data for Malaysia with me yet, but actually, in Malaysia, the average age that use Facebook in Malaysia is not in 20th age. Okay, um, and it's already moved to other platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. Okay. The number two is YouTube, 2 billion. As you can see, start age is 15 to 25. Uh, and then we move to Instagram and Twitter. Okay. Uh, in Malaysia, the Twitter platform is quite popular for our youngsters because uh, maybe our current, I don't know which generation is currently Gen Z or Gen Y, is not really into reading. Okay, so the content in Facebook is mostly in lengthy wall of text. Okay, and that's not very attractive to our youngsters to read the wall of text. But for the Twitter, is the content is quite a bite-sized content. Okay, uh, they doesn't need to read a long text to get some information. Okay, and uh, if you can see for the Instagram, yeah, this is also differs between countries, but usually the majority of Instagram users are women instead of men because they like to watch good or beautiful pictures, and they love to shop in Instagram. Okay, all right. So we need to do our own research on what is currently our who is our audience and which platform are they are currently at. Okay. Okay. So once we have identified which platform that we want to push our resources or our content, we need to have a content calendar. Okay, content calendar is where we plan our daily posts. Okay, what content that we want to publish in proper way. Okay, day by day, and by having a content calendar, we can know for example, on Wednesday we have a holiday, a public holiday. So basically, people will be inside, okay, inside their house or uh, not including the current pandemic situation, where they will spend most of the time maybe looking at their phones or the social media. So that's where we need to strategize and put most of our content at that time. Okay, so for example, on the weekend and the holidays, and on certain occasion like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Hari Tentera, Hari Polis, that sort of days. So when we have that sort of days already in our calendar, we can plan or when to post our content, because we doesn't have unlimited content. Okay, that's need to be known. Um, we don't want to post the same content every day, and we don't want to post the same content in the morning, afternoon, and in the night. So we need to properly post our content so it doesn't need to be repeatable. Okay. Um, um, for to have a content calendar, you can use. I would suggest to use a proper tool. So here I have three tools that can be used. One is Hootsuite. Okay, the Hootsuite is one at the top right. screenshot here, where you can use the tools to plan where you want to post, okay, and what content to post. Okay, and then some tools have a good dashboard where you doesn't need to open each of the social media account, but instead using the specific tools, you only need to log in that to that system, and then you only need to set a single post, and then that post will be published on multiple social media channel simultaneously. Okay, so it will save your time and your resources. Another tool is Trello, see, and at the bottom left here. Okay. Basically, it's not in a calendar type. Okay. It's more on Kanban style of dashboard. So you can see here there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you can schedule. Or it's not schedule. It's basically you can plan when to post and which platform that you want to post. Okay. All right. So once we have this type of content calendar, and then you can follow up each post, whether this, for example, you post it in the morning, and then the next day you can see if how efficient or how effective is that post. Does that post, does the yesterday post have good impact? Okay, if it has good impact, we can repeat the same about the same content. Okay, maybe on the next week. Okay, uh, and you can know which type of content. For example, you have content that only have a lot of text, and then you have a post that have a good picture, or a post that have interesting video. We can see your audience love which type of content, and not different content have different audience. So for example, if you post a lot of text on Twitter, then it will be a lot of Twitter posts, which maybe is not very suitable. If you have a lot of pictures where you post on the Twitter or Facebook, maybe it doesn't have a good traction. So that's where you need to use Instagram, for example, or Pinterest. Okay, so you need to know where to post with the good content type, right? So next, other than social media, we must have website. Okay, um, a website has a different audience. Okay, for example, not all social media users maybe like to search on the Google. So not all Google users is on social media. So you need to have multiple platform for your content. But the best for long term is your website. Okay, for social media, if you're not posting regularly, your for example, your Facebook page will not be found, and people will not find your Facebook page. But for website, if you have a good content, when you post maybe last week or last year, that content can still be found by people search of that content, because the nature of website users are those who like to search. Okay, but for the social media users are for people that love to scroll their social media. Okay, if you do not post on that day, then you are not going to be visible. All right. Okay, next is once we have all the content has been scheduled, that have its own calendar. Next, we want to track and monitor. Okay, so one of the tools that can be used is hashtag. And again, hashtag is not exactly suitable for all platforms. So for example, we have here the hashtag in UTM, Cekal Bersama Takwa, which recently in our latest campaign in UTM. using this hashtag, we can see who is using this hashtag. Well, usually hashtag is used for our campaign. Okay, and it's a very seasonal method. Okay, if we use maybe cekal bersama takwa, it may be only popular for a few days or for few weeks, and then the next day it will not be found again. People will not be using the same hashtag every time. It is very seasonal, and we need to find another hashtag or another campaign that we want to promote. Okay, so by searching in Facebook, Cekal Bersama Takwa, you can see who is using that hashtag. So there's a person, there's a page, you can also find a group post. Okay, so this is how you can see who is how is your hashtag is being viral. Okay, if it is viral. Okay, another one is Telegram channel. Okay, this is also another tool, medium for to see or to use to promote your content. Okay, so basically you just set up a Telegram channel and then ask people to subscribe. So this the Telegram channel is different from a group where only admins are allowed to post content. Okay, so once we have a good content, a good subscribers, we can see how our channel is performed. So this is actually UTM's official Telegram channel. Okay, so this is the one. So we can see the left one is the number of followers. Okay, we can see when our followers join and when is our followers is leaving the channel. Okay, and then for the notification, who is how many people mute the channel and how many people maybe before this does not interested or UTM has posted too many posts in that channel, so it's getting annoyed or getting too much notification unnecessarily. So we can see if our post is too much. Okay, so we need to analyze whether it is too much or too less. And then we can see also how our followers are active. So maybe they are mostly active. So we can see here at 7 o'clock, not many are active. So they are mostly active at 3 o'clock. This is 3 a.m. Okay, this is 3 a.m. And then 7 a.m., 11 a.m. Okay, so on 7 a.m., not many people is online. Yeah. We can see also progress or growth, the channel growth, and then we can also see where did our followers is coming from, and the source, the language, and the interaction. So we can see how many people see the post, the content that we post in Telegram, and how many people are sharing the content, right? And then here is some of the content that we have post. So here is the COVID-19 charity tabung COVID-19 that have 1,300 views. Okay, the highest we have is this one is Easy Proxy, which has been in downtime before, 5,000. Okay, we can count the percentage of views we get by the total subscribers. So UTM have about 11,000 followers, and basically for the highest engagement of views, if we have 5,000, so basically around almost 50% of the subscribers see our content, and the least is the 1,000. About 10%. So it doesn't mean we have 11,000 followers, subscribers. We can, each time you post, all 11,000 will see your content. All right. Okay, I think that's all the content, all the things that I can share for this session. Can I open for question and answer?
Yeah, we have time. Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Sharul Hafiz bin Razak. May I ask something about the Telegram? Why it's starting active at 3 a.m. 3 in the morning.
So basically, it's all depend on the. This is actually quite weird. Because based on our analytics, it's not from different country. This is
Oh, okay.
in
International,
UTM.
yeah. International might be student.
No, it doesn't necessarily an international student. It's in Malaysia. It is in
Okay.
Malaysia. But maybe our students staying up
Okay,
early
up
to
until 8
study.
in the morning, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much,
Uh,
Mr. Muhammad Sharul Hafiz,
but I have another content here.
marketing expert. And 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 one more thing is timing is a good timing to post, yeah, to make audience and then viewers to subscribe. Uh, and then we need have a website. So hopefully everybody can have own website, yeah, Mr. Sharul.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah, yeah. That is our sharing session for the marketing and visibility session part. If
Doctor, I have some maybe some survey for our
oh,
participants here today.
okay, you
So
can
you can
just can blast the survey in our chat room. And don't forget, every
mm,
participant to register our third session, yeah, this afternoon. Please
Is it we have
register
to
your
scan the
attendance.
QR code, Dr. Shamsa? Maybe this is the QR code for the reflection.
Okay, scan.
yes.
Yeah. Also, please scan the QR code for the reflection.
Mm. I think we can maybe take 5 minutes for everyone to scan and answer. It's
No
only
problem.
three
Sure.
questions.
Have a uh, time to have reflection, and then please scan the QR code.
We only allowed to choose one?
Only one.
Alah. Then people would know how old I am. I'm so old school.
That's the purpose of this survey. It's all related to my content just now. You can scan or directly go to your browser and type utm.com/visible.
Very visible. Okay. I already opened my QR code web.
This is
It's
also
okay.
quite interesting. We can just are we allowed to do like this, like utm.my/visible? Or you just those who
because
Only
with
ACQ
access?
only.
because I'm in control of UTM website, so I'm allowed.
Okay. So we are not allowed to use this sharp thing, yeah?
Yes.
Which one better, Mr. Sharul? Is possible paid advertisement or free advertisement?
It is necessarily to use paid advertisement to have better coverage. Because, for example, in UTM Facebook, we have about 300,000 likers. And each time we have a post, only about 1,000 of our followers see the content. Only 1,000 out of 300,000 likers.
Okay.
So Facebook is very
Not bad.
Facebook is very
Good
I think
medium.
very great there. They want us to spend money to make sure each content reach to all our audience.
If I can ask a question, Mr. Chairman, I'm Lee.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I thought nowadays Instagram is more fancy for the youngs. Why would you recommend Telegram? Are you saying Telegram is also as popular as Instagram?
Okay, if I may answer. Basically, it's different channel for different purpose. Okay. If you have lots of nice pictures, you can post to Instagram. But usually for program, you doesn't have that resources to have good images to post Instagram. If you doesn't have good images, your audience wouldn't like to follow your Instagram account. Okay, because they want only to have to nice have to want to see the nice image in their Instagram. So Telegram is more on information dissemination.
I'm agree. Yeah, I'm agree.
In terms of visual or words, is it?
Yes.
So meaning that we need to, how do we engage them to join our Telegram group? Is it we must have their phone number?
Telegram have links that you can post in maybe Facebook or website, then that your audience can click and have the and join the channel. You doesn't have to, if you can't invite other person that's not your friend in your contact person or contact numbers to participate or to join this Telegram channel.
I see, that is so interesting. Okay. And
Mm.
how do you rate the effectiveness of the paid Facebook? Because I do have a program account that I spend some money on the Facebook. However, I feel that the effect is not very good. Is it that we
Mm.
have to pay much more to get the desired effect, or how? Thank you.
Basically, if it's all depend on the content. If your area or if your maybe your research, your program is very niche, then the audience is also very niche. You cannot compare with other type of, maybe you compare to the celebrities or to the universities of number of likers or followers that have larger audience. Okay, so it depend on you. Maybe you have 100 likers or followers, but basically that 100 likers is you need to get everyone. Okay, the impact is not the same.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sharul, and thank you very much, Prof, for your questions. And
Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
hopefully they're answering your question, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you for the sharing.
thank you, Prof.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, very interesting. Mr. Sharul, can you
Yes.
what is the result from your survey? Any result?
Okay, so here's the result. So we have about 20 responses. Okay, so from here, I purposely put television at the top. Okay, and then the largest one is here. Here is
That is
Facebook,
WhatsApp and Facebook.
and then Facebook. Okay, Facebook, WhatsApp, and then Twitter.
Twitter.
Okay, not
So
so much on YouTube. Email newsletter is quite good. Okay, so not everyone love to be on the social media or the WhatsApp. Maybe they love to have basically email newsletter. Me myself prefer email newsletter because I choose when I want to open the email.
Yeah,
Not
it's up.
the information is to be fit or my mom must read now.
It
Okay.
depends on the what kind of information you need to give to the audience. Yeah. Okay. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Mr. Sharul.
All
Now
right.
we have to the another session, experience sharing 3. That is sustainability tool and networking by Assistant Professor Dr. Muhammad Armi bin Abu Samah from International Islamic University Malaysia, from Kuliah of Science. If Dr. Muhammad Armi ready,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yes, Prof.
Can you see my slide presentation?
Not yet, Prof.
Okay. So I hope that I share. Okay. So can you see my slide?
Yes, Prof. Yes. Over to you, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Samsul. So I guess Dr. Samsul. So Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day to all of audience and organizer So my name is Muhammad Armi Abu Sama. So I'm a speaker for these sessions for Campus Sustainability Seminar Series 2. So on flood experience sharing, sustainability tool and networking. So today I would like to share some of my experience, okay, and represent to my university at campus IIUM Kuantan campus. With title Food Waste Composting Management at IIUM Kuantan campus. So first of all, so maybe this is some of my introductions. So of course, everybody know what actually I guess know because this is very close with us. It's about solid waste. Okay, so every day, okay, every time we generate a lot of waste. Okay, so in definition, solid waste is unwanted thing. So normally we don't want to see anymore. We want to uh, hear regarding on what we throw into dustbin, and then the implication is quite high because of this is related to our surrounding area, and also it's about implication to our environment. Okay, so again and again, I'm trying to show with you all here. So in IIM Kuantan campus, okay, this project we plan started on 2017. Okay, so we start to briefing the idea by development division. Okay, development division is our core of this project. Okay, and then we work together with our subsidiary under IIUM Holding. We call as DBSB as our partner. And then university was appointed me as a leader project for the composting project at Kuantan campus, and I'm trying to design and give all of my idea, and also I try also to set up the composting center. Okay, so basically it's quite tough because I don't have any what we call reference before. So I just based on my expertise, and I try to develop from A until A to Z. Okay, everything is based on my idea, and then starting to 2011, sorry, 2018. So we start to spread the information by practice in IIUM Kuantan campus. So once everything we set up the building, the center, and the facility, we start to promote how to manage our food waste. Okay, starting June, we tried to come up with what we call code practice, IIUM food waste composting code practice. So that's mean all our staff, students, and also visitors need to follow our code practice in order to ensure that we able to manage start from the generation itself and until goes to the composting center. Then the official opening by IM Rector. So after complete, we start to opening official by our top management, and we try to cover all the area at IIM Kuantan campus based on our planning. Okay, so starting to 2019, so we start to again and again improve of our food waste composting system in composting center, and do some of the R&D in order to ensure that we able to improvise our system, and also we try to come up with what actually another product that maybe we can produce based on our food waste compost generated. Okay, so this is our objective. Okay, our objective to develop this project basically to treat waste generated at IIUM Kuantan campus, specifically on Mahala cafeteria, in order to get the efficiently using suitable waste treatment. And second, we try to build compost plant facility for organic waste treatment, especially on food waste at IIUM Kuantan. And last but not least, we try to produce fertilizer from our food waste composting process. Okay, so this is a main, three main our objective to treat our food waste in order to ensure that we are not throw our waste or allow our waste send directly to the landfill, but we try to treat and process our food and our organic waste in our campus itself. Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know why.
May continue.
Sorry, maybe some problem here. Okay. So this is our project location at Mahala Talha. So you can see through the Google image. So this is our logo, food waste composting projects. And so this is our flowchart composting project at IIUM Kuantan campus. So we start with the project management. We try to initiate and also planning, and then we try to execute the duty, and based on that we try to monitor. So I'm one of the project leader to need the monitor and together with the operator and also another top management, and then we start to evaluate. So regarding on the composting system, so in the implementation we do some of the segregate process. Then we send based on the waste using our transportation, and then like a lorry, and then we send to the composting center and come out with the fertilizer, produce the fertilizer, and also send to our customer. So in this aspect, whether we using we use by our own and or we sell to the another customer. Okay, so that request to buy our fertilizer. And then in terms of the composting process, we go to the drying, grinding and process and finishing. So this is, I think, a basic concept to produce food waste compost without any, I mean, another extra mediums or another additional chemical. So this is we use based on our natural process. Okay, so this is the key element of waste management we apply in our campus. So starting from generation waste, we have the hostel, cafeteria, and kuliah. So then we send to the segregation at source. Okay, then we go to the we separate to the three part. Okay, we have the recyclable waste consists plastic, paper, aluminum, glass, and we also have the other waste, non-recyclable, and then we have the food waste. This is our target to manage and to treat and come up with the another products. Okay, so then we go to the storage. We have the waste storage facility here, and our one of our facility we call as the smart mobile garbage bin. Okay, atau or we call as a smart bin. The size around 240 liters. Okay, so this is the specific smart bin. Okay, not normal MGB, but this is we design specifically just for collect the food waste. Okay, so Then we send, we go to the collection based on our transportation lorry, and then send to our composting recycling center, and we come up with our production of organic compost fertilizer. Okay, so this is our flow chart of solid waste management system. Okay, again and again, in terms of framework, we have segregate. Recycling, we go to the recycling center. Okay, and then we sell our recycle items to the company, the outside the company. And then in terms of the food waste, so that's mean we collect the waste, and then we go to the temporary storage, or no, we hold until reach 300 kg, and then we go compost. So if we got to 300 kg, we start to process. But in this case, sometimes we not reach to 300 kg the amount of food waste, but we still to manage to process and come out with the food waste compost. Okay, so that's mean food waste compost we use inside campus, and the rest we goes to the commercialization. Or we sell. The meaning is we sell to the another company or buyer. So this is how we collect. Okay, this is a smart bin. Okay, so that's mean normally in this look like the normal MGB, but this is we design and we do some of the what we call modification. Okay, to improve the systems, improve the efficiency of the this bin. I mean the smart bin. So until we can easily to manage, and also easily to produce our food waste compost. So that's mean, so this is a transportation we collect, and the bin normally we put the logo. Okay, so the meaning is this is the bin need to send directly, okay, or collect by our operator, goes to our center, composting center. Okay, so using this bin, basically we can able to produce our food waste, okay, our food waste compost within 24 hours or less. Okay, so that's mean our center, our machine really need this smart bin in order to ensure that we can expedite the process to come out with our food waste compost. So this is our process. This is a smart bin. So that's mean we mix our food waste. Okay, and then we go to our grinder process, and then so that's mean we able to manage, which is to separate our solid and liquid. Okay, our liquid. So you can see here very dry. Okay, so our food waste. So that's mean we put into our rotary bins. Okay, then we waiting until the next day. Okay, so we can get the good result. Okay, then so we check our, I mean, the temperature. So we reach to the maturity level for the food waste compost. So all this process we basically the process basically just took around 1 hour or less than 1 hour, but after put into this rotary bin, so normally we can get result within 24 hours only. Okay. So this is how, starting from 2017, okay, we start to discuss together. So I'm alone and discuss with the operator, and then we buy some of the facility from another company, the rotary bin from the Auto City Juru, and then so we try to buy the rotary bins. Okay, so this is our IIUM top management from Gombak campus, our HQ, come and official So this is a Prof. Tan Sri Zulkifli come and appreciated our project here, composting center. Okay. So this is some of the, the award by exhibitions. So this is a food compost we pack and we sell to several nursery at Kuantan and also at another state area. So this is our small edible garden. Okay, we test our food waste compost, and this is some of the food compost we use at our landscape. So we try to avoid then use the chemical fertilizer at IIM Kuantan campus. So this is based on our code practice. So exactly we need to use our food waste compost. So the meaning is the organic fertilizer. So we try to also give encouragement to our operator to reduce their cost. So that's mean using our food compost. So that's mean in the same time they can able to reduce their cost. Normally up to 10,000 sometimes. Okay, so that's mean they're able to reduce directly in terms of their cost operation. Just using our food waste compost. So this is our the competition at Korea, the latest 2020. So this is our packaging and our food fertilizer, food waste compost fertilizer. So this is order from the farmer. Okay, farmer also order from us the food waste compost. So in terms of total production, okay, so we produce the 2018, okay, 2,311 kg. So this is started from January until December, okay. So we also produce around for year 2019, 2019, so around 21,419. So this is our waste production. So that means 2019 we start to increase our food waste compost generation. Okay. So in year 2020, okay, so we just able to get 3,710 so kg. So April, May, and June we have a PKP. Like now, we having a problem because of the student not full coming at campus. So our food waste generation also start to reduce. So we are not able to manage until 300 kg per cycle. So now we just sometimes we get only just 10 kg only sometimes or less than 10 kg. So this is the impact from the PKP situation. So the conclusions, in our conclusion, the composting project could be taken as an alternative of waste management operation that is environment friendly, economical, sustainable, and worth creating. The technique has been used broadly for the bioremediation of contaminated soil and site. However, to maintain composting sustainability, it requires proper handling and suitable technology. I think that's all from my presentation and some of my sharing activity at IIM Kuantan campus. So I open to the Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Arni, Abu Samah, and very interesting about the food waste recycling. And Can I ask about the smart bin, Doctor? Did you design your own smart bin or you
Yes.
use the previous one?
Okay. So basically, I'm designing this smart bin during I start this project. So I try to understand how can I try to expedite the process because we got a lot, in terms of the leachate from the food waste. So we try to dry. So how we are gonna do? I just think and I try to design my smart bin, and at the same time, I discuss with I try to custom made the bin because if we try to doing by ourselves, okay, so the problem is about the our facility not appropriate, okay, to come out with very proper smart bin because the design and also in terms of how we are going to separate solid and liquid, we have to do some of we call molding in terms of the elevation in order to ensure that the liquid the liquid the leachate can flow and separate
To the bottom.
directly from the food compost.
That's mean
So
you need, Doctor?
I have to work together with some of the company to make sure I can able to come up with the smart bin with the very proper facility.
All right, thank you very much. That mean you develop a mass production lah, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor, for your sharing. And then another question, if a participant need to ask, can drop down to our chat message. Now, thank you very much, Doctor, for your interesting sharing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samsul.
Thank you. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Now, let me move to the second last presenter, speaker from UTMI, which Dr. Farhana Dayana Deris is a manager for International Alliance, UTM International, UTM. This is sharing about sustainability tools and networking. Are you ready, Doctor? If you're ready, over to you.
Assalamualaikum, Dr.
Assalam.
Samsul. I
Yes.
think there is an error in the title that was given to me.
Okay.
Okay, so it's actually that's not my title actually, but it's okay. So I'll share my slide
Okay,
here,
that's
and
not
we
the
can.
title, yeah? International Network Alliance, so that's not your title, yeah?
It is that one, but it's not under networking tools. It's not exactly the one that you pronounce such now, but it's okay. Let's explore it together. All right. Okay, I hope everybody can see my slides.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. So again, Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all. First and foremost, thank you for this opportunity to share my experience with everybody. Just now, Dr. Samsul mentioned that it'll be on international networks and alliances, and he's not far from right. He is actually very much accurate, but I'll be focusing more on how we can actually sustain synergy and success in terms of the alliances as well as the networks. Right, so moving on, before I continue talking more about how we can actually sustain synergy as well as success in an alliance, I think I'd like to get everybody to be in the same wavelength with me, in the same thought processes with me by sharing this poster with everyone. I think everybody knows this movie, right? The Samson, have you watched this movie?
Yes.
So this is about Avengers, and the not really that recent, but much recent movie that they have, which is about Endgame. So this is also about alliance. This is about a network. And when we think about this movie, we can start thinking about, among the words that come to our mind will be chaos, complexity. There's something urgent that needs to be resolved. There is solidarity, there's purpose, and there's also power. And we also talk about the alliance, we talk about how they have shared goals and how they're working together towards achieving universal prosperity, mutual benefits, and also towards serving humanity. Overall, this alliance has been a strategic alliance. So again, coming back to what I wanted to tell you earlier, it's more focusing on how we can actually sustain the synergy as well as sustaining the success of the alliance, right? So I won't be talking, strictly on this movie only, but this is just to get everybody on the same page with me, right? Moving on. Before I continue further talking about the alliances, I think it's best if I could just lay some foundation in terms of what we are doing at the international office. At the international office, our vision is actually to be a leading and referred international center with a worldwide standing that drives UTM to be a global university with excellent reputation. With the mission of expanding UTM's global reach and prominence, facilitate transformative global education and cross-cultural learning opportunities, and support the inclusion and well-being of its local and international communities. And this is done by also focusing on the 4 core values of UTM. The tagline of the UTM International is bring UTM to the world and bring the world to UTM. And you can imagine how that is going to be done during this crisis that we have globally. So in achieving our vision and mission, we have 3 models of international collaboration. The first one being the bilateral agreements focusing on academic and research cooperation. And this is usually done by the faculty or at the institutional level kind of cooperation as well as academic exchange. Model number 2 is in terms of global research or academic networks or alliance of universities that is focusing on a niche or a focused areas. And this is what I'll be concentrating more in this sharing. And the third model is in terms of a strategic international collaboration with reputable universities. For this, it means that we are actually leveraging on our reputable partner institution network of collaboration expertise, and we leverage on their global ranking as well as position. So focusing on model number 2, but before I go on further with that, very briefly, I think we all know, based on what I have described in terms of the alliance, just now using the movie, we know that a strategic alliance is about at least 2 or more firms that unite to pursue a set of agreed goals, and at the same time they remain independent, and also they share the benefits and the control over the performance of the assigned tasks, and they contribute on a continuing basis in 1 or more key strategic areas. So as far as UTM is concerned, we actually have more than 3,000 academic and research bilateral partnerships. And here are some of the examples. And these institutions also fall under model number 1 as well as model number 3 of the strategic collaboration. And some of them are also overlapping in the model number 2. And at the same time, we are also part of more than 20 multilateral partnerships. And these are some of the examples of the alliances that we have. I'm going to concentrate more on the alliances and networks. Overall, if I were to list them, these are some of them. You can actually find the full list at this URL. Just find us at utm.my/international/alliances, and you will find the list as well as the links there. But what does this list of alliances mean really? First and foremost, if we put it on the map, it means that through these alliances, we are actually able to extend our reach much to a global network or a global scale. So for instance, some of these networks are actually covering mainly in the Asian level, and then more expanded, and finally worldwide, right? So this is one of the reasons why we would like to be part of networks and alliances. Now, what are the things that we are achieving together being part as part of alliances? Let me give you an example based on the impactful engagement that we've had. But this is a record based on January to March of this year. So if we have a look at this, we have new impactful collaborations through the networks. For example, for the 15th CTAC Symposium 2021, ITB is actually one of the members of CTAC. UTM is also a member of CTAC. So we actually collaborated together with ITB as the main host and UTM as the co-host. And for the upcoming one, for the 16th CTAC Symposium, UTM is now as the host and as Suranari is as the co-host. So even from this, we can actually see that we are always through the networks, we are always learning from each other and supporting each other. Therefore, making sure that the impact or the outcomes is much more stronger, but with lesser amount of energy being invested. So in addition to that, for the World Technology Universities Network, UTM is also actively involved in the World Technological Universities Congress. So this is also another form of symposium or conference where we can actually put in our main speakers as keynote speakers, as parallel session speakers, as committee members, and so on and so forth, and even our students to actually increase our visibility. In addition to that, we also have SALT Center for Swiss ASEAN Learning and Teaching. And for this year, we also have one conference, the Connect Us conference, which is happening in November. And under the SATU President's Forum, SATU stands for Southeast and South Asia and Taiwan University. Under this network, we actually have proposed as well as have achieved a joint research collaboration through this network. In addition to the collaboration, as I was mentioning earlier, I talk about global reach, and now I also would like to actually highlight how we can actually enhance our global visibility. It is through the networks that we're able to extend our friendship and also extend our visibility and also to showcase the experts at our institution. So through the networks, for example, in the recent one, we have through EduNet, we have friends under EduNet who actually have conferences and also programs that they would like to have. And then what they would do, they would actually contact us at the international office and ask us to nominate experts or list the experts from our universities. So to UTM, to our office, this is actually a great opportunity. So I'll give one example. For under EduNet, we have 42 member institutions right now. So if we were to showcase a particular speaker from UTM to EduNet, it would actually mean that it is instant visibility for 42 member institutions, including UTM. So in the recent one, we had 3 keynote sessions as well as 1 plenary session that was actually afforded through the networks. And through the Erasmus Plus network, we were able to also expand the engagement to actually include the European Union Ambassador, His Excellency Michaelis Rokas. And if we were to count for these first 3 months itself, we actually had 38 global activities, which includes board meetings, conferences, as well as webinars. And this year itself, we started strengthening our position, UTM, in one of another alliance, which is called EURAS. EURAS is based in Turkey, but it has 201 members from Europe as well as Asia. So when we participated in EURAS, it also means that UTM is being introduced to 200 members from Europe and Asia. When we minus UTM, that there will be 200 members from Europe and Asia. Now, if we want to do it on a one-by-one basis, it will definitely take a long time to actually achieve that. But through the alliance, can you imagine, we are actually able to introduce UTM, introduce our expert for its journals and so on and so forth, just through one alliance. And in this case, I'm referring to EURAS. But also for the remaining 5 minutes that I have today with everybody, I'd like to concentrate more on the Asia Technological University Network. This is special because this is established in UTM and also being championed by UTM as the chair and the secretariat. It was established back in 2016 during the 8th University President Forums at UTM Johor Bahru. So these are actually the people or the founders, the pioneers of the network. So it has been some time. And I'm not going to go through what we've done since 2016 up to 2021. But what I would do is I would like to tell you more about how a network is actually being formed. So have a look at this timeline that I prepared for you. And this is showcasing the activities that we've had from 2016 and 2020. As you can see, at the beginning, most of the activities are actually concentrated more on the board members, and slowly we have included more for students as well as staff. This is also for student and then staff, student again, and more for staffs and top members as well as the international office, and students again, and then this is for the international staff members. So in when we reached 2020, the last year, there was actually also at the same time when we had the pandemic actually hit us globally. So what we did as an alliance is that we quickly think about, or because UTM is as a secretary, we quickly actually started formulating what is our COVID-19 response. Do we want to wait until everything slows down and then we can meet each other again in a physical setting? Or do we quickly think about how we can achieve, how we can actually help each other during this pandemic? So as a result of that, we actually had an online board meeting. And during this board meeting, we come up with a number of activities that would actually help all the member institutions. So among others was a webinar where we shared on COVID-19. We called the other member institutions to start sharing. This webinar is actually one of the first few webinars in Asia focusing on COVID-19. And in that year itself, we had 3 virtual university president forums. UTM has always been the champion for university president forums, but last year we started being the leader of this network. We started not teaching, but sharing our experiences, sharing our networks to all our other members. So here we had UTHM as the second host and SIT as the third host. We also had research meetings last year to strengthen our our research collaboration. And to offset the fact that we cannot have physical mobility, last year we had 6 online global classroom, and one of it is actually hosted by the UTM campus sustainability itself, focusing on SDG. And we also have a student leader forum, and these brought together many leaders from all over the world to help our students in terms of how they can be better despite the pandemic. So overall, these are just some of the snapshots of 2020 activities. And also, I'd like to just showcase here the benefits and privileges. When people join, when member institutions join ActiveNet, what does it mean? It means actually a direct access to an expanding network from 15 countries and more in Asia, participating in partnership with 42 members and also increasing, keeping them updated with the latest trends, news, and highlights through the sharing sessions such as the University President Forum, Student Leader Forum, the International Staff Week, which we're having also this year, and then sharing research findings through the ActiveNet Special Interest Group, research and publication, research grants, mobility programs, as well as some other activities that we have. So for 2021, we have more activities available actually for 2021, such as the International Staff Week, the hackathon on a global classroom, and so on and so forth. So an overview for everybody, when we want to sustain the synergy and success, it is actually not it actually requires some form of formula. So if you look at this, what I have here, and this is also shared with the committee, here we can actually see that in formation itself, we need to look at compatibility, complementarity, as well as commitment. And in the design of network itself, we have to actually look at equity ownership, contractual provision, as well as the governance itself. And finally, in terms of managing, there's the coordination that needs to be taken into account. There must be trust that is being fostered. And finally, any conflict must actually be resolved. And in ensuring it, we also need people. And here I put both individual as well as organization. The organization here refers to having the goals, the right goals, having the commitment, the culture, as well as the competencies to actually to lead in alliances. And for the individuals themselves have to be value driven. They must have tolerance for any ambiguity or any conflicts, to be able to resolve them, and to be able to have co-leadership with other members of the alliances, and finally to also have interpersonal skills. So I believe I've taken 36 seconds more. That's about it, the sharing from me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you very much for an interesting sharing session. If anybody to ask Doctor, you may in the chat, yeah? Okay, Doctor. I noticed that strategic alliances is involving organization plus individual, yeah.
That's right.
So not similar to the alliance that you show us the first poster. Okay, thank you very much, Doctor, for your time. And we have last speaker. So this is my partner in UTMCS, Dr. Shazwin. Okay, the title is Better Over Time Monitoring for Improving Sustainability. Correct, Doctor, yeah? The title?
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Okay,
Shamsul.
over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. D and other speakers from the morning and those participants that still stay with us from morning until today. So I'm going to be the last speaker. So I would like to try to reflect all the slots and session and especially of focusing on monitoring sustainability in UTM. Okay, so what actually that the monitoring framework that we are conducting or the flow that we have in UTM to improve our sustainability efforts or sustainability performance in UTM. So this is what we in UTMCS put efforts into. So for the operation model, we look at this 4-point ICOM, which is input, control, output, and mechanism. Right, so for us in campus, we look at this input is material and resources, energy, water, transport resources. This is all related to consumable resources, information, staff, and students. So how, what is the things that we need to improve? So that is on the output, whether the emissions. If you look at the emission from a transport, for example, how what is the facilities that we need to add, what is the needs or guideline that we need to prepare. Okay, so that is on the output portion of emission, wastewater, waste, human capital, research, and services. Okay, so for like the sharing that we have today, we have a few on research information as well as some on the early morning session. We Prof Fadil start with the control policy and governance aspect. We look at the sustainable policy as well as sustainable framework 2030 that we is currently ongoing, and we expect to release a kick-off on within this year. And of course, the new release Envision 2025. How this can be a guide and direct process work for us to handle the sustainable process in UTM. And how we do it is we also look at the mechanism, the cost, the process to operate through the feedback, infrastructure, risk assessment. Like today, training, we are really looking forward to the feedback that we can get from all the speakers as well as respondents for us to improve the training session as well as seminar. Okay, so how we do it, the process is what UTMCS is responsible for. So we look at the performance of sustainability efforts in campus. This is like conducted continuously. So the what you call it, the flow is straightforward through PDCA approach, which is plan, do, check, action. So most of our participants today is from Green Manager as well as representative from COE, I guess. And of course, we have open the session for students and other staff as well. So if you are Green Managers, you already on board from plan stage. So you are at the team and the task force, which is formed by Pendaftar, our registrar office, and the Green Office initiative. So from there, we move forward to do. So what all the initiative that we shared today from morning is whether it's covering under do or check. Okay, so we more on what actually that how we can raise the awareness, how the students can be the enabler, how we can communicate our event, how we can initiate a good event, and it can be visible and communicated and have what you call the engaging with various stakeholders. So that is the large portion that I guess all of us here involved will be at the do component. So the chat component is where UTMCS disturbing or kacauing you guys for the data. So that is why we early morning session, Hashimadi mentioned about you always ask for the data and report. So what actually you guys have been doing. So that is the sharing that I will share today on the internal monitoring and also as the auditing part. And I would like to highlight as well on the weakness that we are mentioning that we realize on the procedures and document
Dr.
control.
Shazwin,
Yes.
somebody asked your slide missing, but I can see your slide. Can you unshare and share again?
All right. So maybe I should stop sharing because let's see how we can share. Yeah. Is it not?
Not yet.
All right. Let's try again.
Ganggu je kan Dr. Shazwin?
Moment ya. Is it good now?
Yeah, okay.
All right. Okay, so yeah. So a second part of the discussion will be on the internal monitoring and auditing. Where are we now and how we can improve. Right, let me reflect a bit on the UTM Living Lab. I think from morning we do touch about a bit about Living Lab. What is a Living Lab actually? So Dr. Shamsul also mentioned in his presentation, and we get a real case study from Dr. Zida from UM, how they fully utilize a Living Lab initiative in UM with having a special grant for UM Living Lab. Is so impressive. Okay, so this is actually multi-transdisciplinary interactive linkages between research, academic, teaching, learning, and operation. So basically what we have been doing in as a sustainability initiative in all our PTJs or our research or our academic and teaching can be related to this UTM to this Living Lab initiative. As long as it can co-produce knowledge process, project-based or problem-based learning. So this is what importance, what the chance that we need to make use for. If like what Prof. Lee experience sharing, she's involved deeply with linkages outside and still bring forward to the chances to a student here to be in the boat, to
Tiba-tiba hilang.
Okay, dah record.
Okay, may I proceed?
Yes.
All right,
Ada
so this
TikTok
on
juga.
the Helix on the how we can make use of our network in UTM for partnership as what Dr. Cho mentioned from AIMS 4-star, where they do have platform for to link university with government, community and industry. So we can make use of this. And from Dr. D presentation just now, if we need to have to make use of UTMI, what you call that, network, and regardless local or international, I think we can beneficial well with that as well. Same goes to what we are having here in MySun project. This is all also through UTMI support, where we get apply for this proposal to improve networking on sustainability campus initiative. Okay, so that is some efforts that we can consider, and how our local action in campus can still be contribute to SDGs. So how we can integrate with each goal, while what we are doing, this is not SDGs is not it's a new what you call that approach, but it's not a new initiative that far from what we are doing. So it's just a matter of how we can integrate of what our initiative that we already have in UTM, so that we still can report on supporting the SDGs. So I would like to highlight how UTM try to monitor sustainability performance. So we have in basically three main level of monitoring or auditing. So internally, at campus level, we monitor, or we try to motivate on sustainable initiative through implementing this introduction of a green leaf. So this green leaf is how we want to motivate all these PTJs to report their initiative on sustainability. So the appreciation and the results is endorsed through Citra Karisma Anugerah Lestari Award Committee. So this, I believe, is Green Manager support a lot on this initiative. So and the first cycle, the second cycle just completed, and we expected to announce the result soon. At the international level, UTM participate actively in this two auditing for us to improve and trace our what you call that efforts in sustainability. So we have a UI green matrix that consists of a few operation sectors. And this is UTM has participated, I think, in more or less 10 years on this UI green matrix, and we can see how we in which sector that we should focus to. So, and another what you call that auditing that we supporting is on the THE impact ranking map on the SDG contributions. So this is we just started participating in this efforts like 3 years. So I will share you where we are at now. Okay, so from the various what you call that sharing session just now, we can say that we did a lot of initiatives to support sustainability. So I'm not going to talk about the rank, but I would like to show you the trend of improvement that UTM has put, and how it reflects on the results. Okay, this is what we have been monitored through UI green matrix by sector. So if you look at the setting and infrastructure monitoring component, UTM basically is at a good achievement. Okay, so this is where the first component that we improve. So what is the lacking from 2017 2018? We aware that we are lacking on the and in the producing the mapping of our setting and infrastructure. So with the help and support from COE, from Instack, we managed to produce referable figure and data, so that to improve on the monitoring. So what is the next efforts on this? As we mentioned early in the morning, just session, we have green belt planning and under, I think, TNCP, where UTMCS will deeply involved with, so that we can have more informative and what you call that promising efforts that we can produce on producing green belt in action plan in UTM. So for energy and climate change, I would say this still remain a big challenge for UTM. Why? We do have a strong support group from our energy managers. However, the auditing or monitoring sectors is somehow goes towards energy efficient appliances as well as renewable energy. So we are struggling on the providing efforts on renewable energy in UTM. So what we did from 2019 to 2020, we start to encourage small scale renewable energy or solar energy project in campus. And this year, we hope we can improve more with the efforts of biodiesel, where we recycle use cooking oil and produce biodiesel to be used in our buses that we that will operate in campus. Right, for waste, we would like to say appreciate to our JHB team, unit landscape that mostly doing tremendous support and improvement. We can see here the improvement from 2019 to 2020, where most of the also researchers that involved and supporting us in in-house showcase projects for organic waste treatment, And however, I believe we're going to struggle a bit on the recycling program, especially during these pandemic issues. But there's still colleges that's is keeping the momentum, even though with during the pandemic, to actively involve in organic waste treatment projects. So for water, this is going to be our next what you call that sectors that we need to focus to. We struggling to have to report on water conservation program in UTM. For example, we don't have large scale rainwater harvesting building, for example. So that may need to be another point for improvement for UTM. So if you are if your PTJs or your COE have expert on this and would like to extend the collaboration and have a showcase in UTM, please let us know and reach us. Right, so these two is, I think, the most two sectors that we put more efforts recent years, 2-3 years back, transportation and education and research, and we can see massive improvement in terms of performance, as well as what you call that guidance, as well as like transportation. We have more events that approach us for using e-bike, for example, or pedestrian and cycling events, for example. But we still working on improving the procedure for sustainable transport in UTM, and UTM KL will champion this year and next year. Dr. Shamsul lead, and hopefully we can have more what you call that interesting event and efforts towards this direction. And towards education and research, I would say we have improved a lot in terms of reporting for this. By having website, by having centralized data reporting, by having more and more publications. I would say that publications from CCIN as well as from TNCPI do help a lot in terms of us reaching and telling other people what we have been doing in UTM. Okay, and I would like to share a bit on the how what you call that pandemic affect us in terms of resource consumption. And as expected, due to low interest or low activities inside the campus, we managed to have a reduction on resource consumption in 2020 compared to 2019. So thanks to the JHP and TSCP for the data that shared to us, and this is what we can proudly present. Our recycling performance has increased, and the consumption is reducing. So we hopefully we can still keep this momentum even after the pandemic. Right. The last session on the SDGs. So I believe within this few years, 2-3 years, UTMCS tried to increase the awareness as well as event related to SDGs. So this is what we have been assess ourselves, how far that we have been doing, how good we are, what is the component that we need to improve. Okay, so out of 17 goals, UTM managed to map or assess 8 goals, 8 goals, so that we we can see what is the strength, also the gap that we need to improve. So I would say that we best or good enough in goal number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure, as well as 17 and 16 for 12 as well. So for others, we are expected to improve the efforts, initiative as well as reporting. So still remain the challenges and way forward. We expect to have a challenge in reshaping post-pandemic sustainability initiative in terms of well-being, risk management, inclusiveness. I would say that, for example, for waste, we still have to be flexible enough with plastic packaging, even though it's not being, we are not supporting, but there's no other choice that we have to obey with some pre-packed food, for example. Data sharing and reporting, this is something that we think is a need more assist for all the PTJs and green managers to be able to share about the events, to be able to use the media social wisely or at full capacity, so that we can communicate about our sustainable initiative, as well as engagement and appreciation, the fun, the networking and partnership, and how we can reach for budget as well as alumni engagement. Okay, I think that's all for from me. Back to you, Dr. Shamsul.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zazwin. Very informative about sustainability performance in UTM in general, Doctor. We have in pandemic affected, we have decrease in water, waste, and another one, I think.
Transportation.
Okay, transportation. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Zazwin. Before we end our session, the third session, can Guru need to register our attendance? We have the link in our chat room. Yeah, there. So we have Prof Adel here. If Prof Adel need to have a give some end session, Prof.
I think just a very quick one. Thank you very much again to all, the very beloved our moderator for today, Dr. Samsul. I do hope that you can hear my voice anyway. And thank you very much to all speakers, since this is a very first and foremost of the activity that we conduct for sustainability, encourage and roping all the potential leaders, especially in the concept and element of the sustainability. So I do hope that by joining this, you can try to emulate and try to adapt few components of the sustainability in your portfolios, especially beyond your KPI and KI, because this is something like we want everyone to participate actively in the sustainability. So thank you very much for your contribution and participation for this webinar or sharing session until 4 and 4:30 and maybe
4:38.
yeah. Thank you. Back to you, Dr.
Thank
Samsul.
you very much, Prof, for the end of our session. Before we end this third session, can all participants on your video we have a photo session? We have a photo session, and then I need Mr. Nizam from technical to snap or to print screen our photo session. Okay, we wait everybody to on their video. Dr. Shazwin, where are you? There. Okay. Dr. D, Dr. siapa lagi tu?
Chef Izan, please open.
Okay, baru nampak semua. Masih lagi ada lagi yang tak open.
Ni Fuad Junior. Who's Fuad Junior?
Abdul Mubin, siapa lagi? Mazlan, Prof
Ada
Mazlan.
Mazlan Ives. Ni Ives ni. Mazlan.
Prof Mazlan ada, oh Cik Zainal ada, Dr. D tak buka lagi. Okay, tak apa. Siapa boleh ambil? Cik Zainal ke, Cik Nizam ke, siapa-siapa?
Saya boleh ambil.
Okay. Nizam mana? Nizam tak ada pun. Senyum. Smile.
Kejap sekejap. Okay, lagi satu kejap. Okay dah.
Thank you very much semua. Terima kasih. Terima kasih speakers and participants, grid managers. Terima kasih kerana join. Jumpa lagi. Terima kasih. Bye.
Terima kasih semua.
Terima kasih semua. Assalamualaikum.
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 Salam. Terima kasih.